my god, my mic's been on mute this entire time. All that content gone. Hey everyone, welcome to my version of hell. A short explanation of this, what I'm doing right now. This is Final Fantasy 15. This is the secret dungeon. This is a dungeon where there are no enemies. It is literally puzzle jumping. Okay? In a game where the movement mechanics don't really portray a good way of actually like doing this. This is the mechanics for this game just totally scream, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you over in this puzzle." Notice how I tried turning around in this game, and the guy walks. Like, how are you gonna make a puzzle game where that happens? You can't put a puzzle in a game like this, Square Enix. Alright, that's just 3 hours of me venting. I'm on the last part of this puzzle. As you can see, this is an easier part of the puzzle. And I don't like, I am not babysitting the way I say that. This is literally the easier part of this entire dungeon, and it's the last part. The last part, I've cheated in this dungeon just to skip this dungeon because I hate it that much. You can hear the frustration in my voice. It's because I failed that jump at least 5 to 6 times already, and that's only one part of this entire fucking dungeon. And then I have to run all the way back up to a shortcut, which really doesn't. I mean, it helps, but it doesn't help. It's far away. If you're curious on a part that I cheated on in this dungeon, is the part where there's a platform that runs around this part of the stage. You basically have to get on the platform and avoid all the parts of the jumping and whatnot, and spike walls and bullshit falling down and everything like that. And there's a part on it where you have to run against it coming towards you, and you have to jump on a panel that has spikes against like this part of the wall, and the ground is where you have to land so that you can wait for the next one to come along, and the part underneath it is about as long as that part that I just jumped on. And you have to land on that with the spikes poking out. Jump too far, the spikes hit you and you have to start over. Yeah. Imagine why I watched a 6-minute video like on how to beat this dungeon cheaply and found out a way to cheat past it. In all retrospect, it didn't even put me that far past it. But it got me past it, so I mean, I can't complain too much. So the trick to this part is to jump on the button that I already pressed, and then jump to the gate! Oh, I made it finally. You have no idea how happy that makes me. Jump over here, and then fall, and then fall. That's... Imagine my frustration when I can't even start over back at the jumping spot. Anyway, I cheated past that portion, and that's the only part that I was able to cheat on. And that brought me to the skeleton room, which I'll put a picture up right now, just for you. Show you what that room is all about, because I thought the actual skeleton was interesting. And after that, it was the... What was it? Okay, yeah, after the skeleton room, it was the zero gravity room, which is just basically what the name... It's just the name of the room. It's not actually zero gravity, because that would have been fun. No, it's just platforms, and all the platforms are slanted like this, maybe a little bit steeper. Almost every platform you can jump on, but it's more difficult than I'm talking about it as. Like I said, this is the easiest part of the dungeon so far, besides the beginning part, which was in this same area. Then after that, it was the maiden room, which was the one right before this one. And that room was also hell because the entire level moved in the beginning, and you just kind of had to wing it almost just to get to the part where the end, and then you had to jump on like a giant sword or something, and you had to jump on a statue's back, try to get on a grate that was no bigger than this platform right here. Okay, so I'm at this part. Where do I go? My guess is I have to jump to the button. Perfect. Alright. After going through all of that, you know. I mean, I can't put it any easier. This is ridiculous. Like, I can't stress how ridiculous this entire dungeon has been. Oh, shortcut. That's nice of them. You see the jumping on this, like, you see it. You see what I've been having to deal with. Like, it's things like that. The lucky part on the beginning parts of the checkpoints is you start over, like, right immediately there, and that's like a reprieve from everything that you're about to be doing. As you know, it's I don't know how many times I've failed in this dungeon so far. Not to mention there was a part, the second part of this dungeon was a moving ball. And that was when they started to introduce all the hard mechanics of this dungeon. Basically, you just kind of have to, I mean, I like the fact that you have to think outside the box on this part. I really do. But if the mechanics for the jumping might have changed, like, just a little bit, like jumping, moving, everything, if they would have just put like a complete stop on when you hit a platform, I would have a lot easier of a time. But the fact that he has to move when you turn, and instead of just like making a general turn to face that way, you see that little bit of an extra step when I turn? Yeah, that's what I've been having to deal with. That puts a kink in all of your jumping. Not to mention, they like to put things that are just barely out of the way. Just like landing the regalia in the area so that you can actually get to this dungeon. Like, that was just like... Just consider that the first taste of this dungeon. Consider landing the regalia the first test. The first test to getting to this dungeon. That's like their first thing to say. Are you ready yet? Are you ready for the bullshit? Because I crashed that thing like upwards to 5 or 6 times. And like there were times when it was like, no, it should not have crashed. And then I watched a video telling me to land from the opposite direction, and that was wrong. Don't land from the opposite direction. Land from the way coming from the market. Take off from the market, you fly to the left, circle around, and then come back in and just like barely don't touch the cliff. That's all you need to do. Like, just remember that if you ever want to do this, just don't listen to the video that tells you to go in from the dungeon part way. Come in from the outpost way, if that makes sense. See this bullshit? You see this bullshit? Oh, I got so lucky doing that. I'm not even gloating about that. That was ridiculous. That was luck. Basically, the parts in this dungeon, I don't know if this is the last part, and I'm really hoping it is, because I feel like there's nothing left. Oh, I can't even get up there now for some reason. I feel like this is the area where you kind of probably just have to walk along, grab all the items. Nice of them. I don't even know when I clear this. Like, a lot of the dungeons, the optional dungeons that I've been doing that aren't related to the what's it called? Yeah, that looks like the maiden down there, actually. But a lot of the dungeons that aren't related to the actual weapons that you can get, You can't really tell when you finish them. You just basically have to beat a boss, and they're like, "Congratulations." I don't know. This is the beginning of the stage right here. So obviously I am probably at the end right now. This is probably it. And if it is, yes. That's all I can say. I just got 10 Mega Phoenixes. It's probably like the most interesting thing that I've gotten so far. Oh my goodness, did I finally make it out? And that's the end of the dungeon. Oh, oh yeah, I did it. I fucking did it. Gladius, Ignis, and Prompto all dungeon at night.
Rain.
Yeah. And this is the area right here. I'll show you real quick. This outpost right here, Varanus Mart. You take off from here, you fly around, you circle around here, fly back in from this direction, and then this little landing strip right here is what you want to land on. And you just kind of want to like come down as close as you can to the cliff right here, and then immediately hit X as soon as you clear the cliff, and you'll land it. That's all I can tell you. Sometimes you'll get unlucky, and you'll have to spend what 2 minutes in a loading screen, 3, 4 even. But yeah, that's what you have to do. Anyway, that was it. I lost a lot of my ranting because my mic was muted, and I just decided to post like the very end of it and kind of rant and again, because it helped me. But yeah, now that I've finished all the dungeons, I do plan on doing the end game content. If you want to see that, I guess let me know. I have to go back to the Melicido Hunter HQ, talk to whatever her name was, and get the key for all the optional, or all the dungeons inside the dungeons. You know, that little door that was close to the royal tombs? Yeah, I'm trying to get to those. So, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Thanks for hearing me rant, and this dungeon is bullshit. Only accessible at night, and prepare for hours and hours of tediousness. Good luck.